Good evening, everyone. I'm TWest, and tonight I'm going to be looking at this replay of a game from the Enter the Pit tournament. This is an arena tournament, and this is game 1 of 3 between me and G-Man Streams over here. This game was team random, and I got the Celts, and, well, he got the Celts too, because it's team random. So, let's speed this up a bit as we go through the Dark Age. We played this on Foobly, and let's take a look at how we go. I'll hotkey my scout so I can look at my scout. First thing, he comes, almost steals my sheep. They were at the front of my base. It's a good thing I went to them first. It's a good thing on arena. Normally you want to scout the front of your base first as soon as you found your starting 4 sheep. That way he can't, your opponent can't steal sheep from you. Now I'm going to go Scout's idle for a bit. I'm going to go along the outside of his wall, see if there's anything else I can steal, since I see my sheep are pretty far back there, but I'm not going to find anything over here. Looks like all of his other resources were in a pretty good location for him. He's going to come this way first, which is good because he doesn't get my sheep down here. Now if we take a look at the maps, 2 relics over here, very nice position for me. 3rd relic over here, and another 2 relics clumped together up here. And our bases, very short distance between each other. They're very close together. He does have 1 deer outside of his base. Only has a patch of 3 deer there. Whereas I have all 4 of my deer inside of my base. I'm going to start luring them as I get this boar in. Trying to finish up that sheep and then hunt more. There we go. That worked out pretty well. Gather the food to keep making villagers. And I do have my secondary gold. One of them is back, and the other one is back. So that's very, very good for me. And my main gold and my main stone, both kind of forward, but not too close to the wall. My secondary stone outside the wall, but the map's 3rd stone is really, really close to me right over here. So I basically have an extra stone pile. And the extra gold right over here, not too bad a location, and the other one over here. So I think I definitely have the better map in this matchup. 1 wolf there, unfortunately, but all my back resources, all of this nice back area to put farms to keep my eco safe. His main gold, kind of far forward, so is his main stone. 1 gold outside his wall, 1 gold inside his wall but close to the edge, and then his other secondary stone back here, but still kind of close to the wood line and outside area. So as we go through the Dark Age, it's going to be booming up, taking food, luring in my deer, putting some villagers onto wood. That's a nice trick you can do if you build a house with the farm right next to it. Once the villager is done with the house, he or she will go right over to the farm and you won't have any idle time. I'm going to keep pushing in my deer, sending villagers to wood. I put a lot of villagers under the TC before sending them to berries, because I know I'm going to be taking a lot of this food. But send a few villagers out to wood, and I'm going to go to gold. Since I'm on arena, I'm not going to research flume. I'm going to have 100 gold, and I'm going to put 2 under gold. He's going to click up first. He's going to go on 25 population with 24 villagers. I'm going to get out 2 extra villagers and go up on 27. I'm going to do that because I see there are these 2 relics out here, and these 2 very close to my base. So I want to take some map control and make sure that I can pick up the relics. He's going up on 25 for a boom, so he can get up a bit more quickly than I am. I'm going to try to get out some units in the feudal age so I can take the map control. And just as I'm finishing up those deer, let's check the scouting. I'm scouting out the back of my base. I'm going to see how nice it is that I have those 2 gold piles in the back. And let's check his scouting. He sees that he doesn't have much in the back, but he has found all of his main resources, and he has found these 2 extra resources over here. He has seen those 2 relics, but he hasn't seen the relics on this side of the map yet. And as I go up, I have the barracks. I'm going to put down a blacksmith and a stable, and try to get out some scouts so I can kill any monks of his as I go to pick up the relics. I know that since he went up on 25 population, he's probably not going to have any units out right at the beginning, so I figure I'll have a pretty good advantage at picking up the relics. And I'm going to be doing double bit axe here shortly, or maybe I've done that already and now I'm doing horse collar. Yeah, I must have done that already. Putting down a couple more farms. Since I'm the Celts, I get a very nice wood cutting bonus, so I'm going to have lots of wood as I get up. Scout fight over here. And I'm going to win that, thankfully. So up just, looks like I'm up just 30 seconds behind him. And since I went up with 2 more villagers, that's good, because that's a 50-second difference, and I'm only 30 seconds behind. So that's pretty good for me. I'm going to get out these scouts. I figure these relics are closer to him, so he's probably going to go for them. And I'm just going to patrol my scout over there, look to pick off any monks he sends out. I'll keep this scout over here just to check what he's doing. Seeing that he's not on any of his resources over here, and that all of his resources are over here. I see he's putting up a town center, so I know he's going to... So I'm pretty safe knowing that he's going to go for a boom since he went up on 25 pop and immediately put down the town center. And he's putting down the 3rd back there. And I start out by putting down the monastery and 2 town centers back in my own base. Just now getting Bosaw coming in for him, so that's maybe a bit slow. But even though he did go up faster, I do have the villager lead, so I was a bit more efficient there. I'm going to have these scouts patrolling near these relics. Looks like he has a monastery there, and he's getting ready to go out and take those relics. Yep. Going to garrison the monk. I'll probably delete that wall, and there we go. Sending the monk out, and my scouts are going to pick that off. I'm sending a monk there anyway, and he would have won that foot race, but I'm there to pick him off pretty quickly. So those scouts looking like a good decision. Sending my 3rd scout over there, or coming back just to check his wall. And that monk is gonna go pick up that 2nd relic. I'll pick up the 3rd one down there. And he's housed, again, on 40 population, so that's gonna slow him down a bit. I'm gonna keep getting ahead. Now, just now doing looms so that I can keep making my town centers busy. Villager, go chop the tree. There we go. Alright, I'm going to need to make sure I keep making houses here so I don't get housed, but things are looking pretty good so far. I'm going to... 3 TCs, I'm going to look to get up a 4th TC at some point. Have a few villagers onto gold. Now I'm going to pick up these 2 relics over here since I've secured all of them. So I'm going to get all 5 of the relics, and that's going to give me a really great boost in this game. I'm starting to pull ahead in the villagers. I'll keep that up. And we're just going to be moving our economies. I get housed. So hopefully, there we go, doing wheelbarrows so that the house doesn't hurt me too badly. Putting up some more houses. And let's go check out on him. How he's doing. He's mining a lot of stone, getting ready to make some castles as Celts. Go Woad Raiders. Putting down his 4th town center over here on these 2 resources. So he'll be able to take that stone and that gold. He's gotten a couple of mangonels in that siege workshop, probably for a defense in case I try to do any attacking. That monk needs to go put the relic away. But he has a monk over here. That's giving him some good scouting. He'll see if I go towards either of these 2 extra resources. And he's also pretty close. He could check on that stone as well. Although he could just always palisade scan or put down a couple of palisade walls to see if I went there anyway. And now I'm just going to put down some more farms. I am a bit late on my 4th TC. He did put his down a bit sooner. I'm just going down with it now, so we'll see him catch up a bit in the Vil count, but he is housed again. That's going to slow him down. And while I'm already advancing to the Imperial Age, so I'll get up there at a decent time. And starting to queue up some stuff in my Siege Workshop. I'm taking stone. I'm going to look to get up a castle for Woad Raiders. And let's see, I'm doing the infantry upgrades, getting the economy upgrades, and yeah, I tried to get a couple converts. I got a convert on a villager but lost a monk, and I see he's going up with a castle. So I'm doing pikemen right now, which in retrospect probably was a very bad decision. I think it would have been better for me to have concentrated on stone earlier and just concentrated on getting up the castles. Tried to take control of this area of the map with castles and get up Woad Raiders a lot earlier. Because I'm going to go siege with some rams and pikemen and try to push in. And since he has the castle, I should know that he's going Woad Raiders and that his Woad Raiders will be able... I'm just going to have rams and pikemen. Woad Raiders are going to be able to clean that up very easily. So this was probably a bad decision with me. Now I'm doing the Halberdier upgrade, and Pikemen and Halberdier combined, that's, what, 690 gold and 515 food that I could be using either to make Woad Raiders, to get Elite Woad Raider, or to upgrade my Siege. He's going to send some mangonels out. I'm not quite sure what they're doing. My scouts are there, going to pick them off. And I'm going to get into his base with the scouts, but I'm going to run into a castle, and he's going to wall over here, so I'm not going to be able to do anything with those scouts. But at this point, I have a pretty good villager lead. I do have a lot of idols, though, that I'm going to need to clear up because my farms are running out and I'm retasking some villagers. But now, I'm going to start knocking down his gate here. The problem is these rams are pretty unprotected at this point. All I have is some halberdier to protect them, and that's not going to stand up because that castle is garrisoned, and that castle has a lot of ward raiders in it. So those rams are going to be taken out pretty quickly. Starts the castle fire, woads. I only see those ones at first, so I figure, that's not too many, but these ones decide they got to run all the way around because unit pathing, that house has that walled off. And he's just going to be able to pump woads from 2 castles. I do have a second castle, but that was a very bad fight for me. I had an early advantage there, and I just kind of threw it away by picking a very bad fight and making a bad unit composition. Now that I see he has a lot of woads and I have the castles up, I am going to get the elite upgrade first, but I know that I'm not going to be able just to outproduce him on woads at this point, so that forces me to go into champions just so that I can have the unit mass I need to fight this. He's going to come forward now and make some buildings, start taking out my gate. I'm going to, let's see how I defend this. I have a mangonel out, so if he comes forward with rams, I'll be able to hit them. He's going to come and try to tread down my castle as I start doing up some woads. I'm getting out long swordsmen right now. I'm going to keep doing the upgrades. I'm going to be able to fight woads pretty effectively with champions. Woad raiders, they do have the advantage of their mobility, but stat-wise, they're not that different from champions. I'm going to get a few mangonel shots here on those woads. Stay in the gates and don't get too close to his wall. And I'm going to even be able to mangonel down that trebuchet, so that's going to go down. I'll get another shot on those woad raiders. And now I should be able just to take out those rams. Gonna release my old woad raiders. I do have the elite ones, but I just don't have the mass to be able to fight that right now. So that's a really bad fight for me, and it looks like I'm gonna end up losing this castle. I don't have any villagers repairing it. I don't really have the stone. That stone I could have used to put up another castle. But I am going to get the long swordsman out, and with the help of a few more units from the barracks, I will be able to clean up this initial fight. Now some more woads are coming into my second castle, and since I do have the elite upgrade, I will be able to clean this up and take out these trebs. He will come in from the side, I'm going to wall behind that, keep him out. Now at this point, I do have a military lead, but since I lost that castle, he does have the production advantage in the woad raiders, and he's going to try and put up another castle over here. Let's see if he's able to get that up. I'm trying to put up my next castle over here to try and take care of this extra gold I have on the map. Meanwhile, he's over here trying to take the extra gold in the stone. I'm going to see that when I put this town center up, and I'll be able to stop that since I have that castle there. I can just send forwards. Getting housed for a bit since I had lost that castle. Now he has this castle here, and that's going to go down by him, but he is going to get elite woad raider, so he will be able to fight me back. So now I've recovered from my initial bad fight, and now I'm going to look to try and push in. I probably should be scouting the map and scouting these extra resources at this point. I do see his stone miners there. I don't know if I've noticed that yet, but he is taking this gold outside of his wall. I should be able to harass that, and I should be trying to push in over here, but instead I go right to the front of his base with only half of my army, and that's an awful decision by me. He cleans up that army, and just... yeah, he's able to clean up my rams, and that was a very bad decision with me not having my entire army together. And I'm going to have to wall behind that now and keep getting out more woads from these castles. I only have 2 castles now. Meanwhile, he's able to finally look at this and manage to clean it up and get the bills outside of here. But his woad raiders coming from 2 castles, and I don't have enough food to sustain the unit production I want. He has a lot more food at this moment. He's able just to keep outproducing me, and this is another instance where I don't have all my army together, since I don't have the champion upgrade yet. That's just coming in. This is another bad fight for me. So those few initial bad fights really end up hurting me. Just being out of position with my army and not having the army control I need. So now I need these champions to fight him off, because he has enough woads. I'm not going to be able to outproduce him from these castles. I do have a few villagers in the castles, and I'm getting guilds because I know I'm going to need to do some selling of resources at the market to keep my gold count up. And I'm able to get some harassment over here, but then he's going to come and clean it up. He is the elite upgrade now, and we both have, looks like we both have all of our blacksmith upgrades. But I've cleaned this up over here. I'm taking these extra resources, so that'll be good for me. On the first of the extra resources, I should be mining that gold instead of chopping the wood, so that's a bit of a mistake by me. Haven't really mined much of that. Now he's going to get up a third castle, and I don't quite have the stone for another castle yet. I should be going to the market and trying to buy one. But this is another fight where he just has more numbers than I do. Since he gets up that castle, he's able to push that back really easily. That's just a few. I had a pretty good lead, but just a few bad fights getting caught out of position he was able to take. Now just cleaning up my army again, and I really need to work on my army control late game because that's a few fights where I should have had the advantage, but he's just able to outproduce me. Now since he has 3 castles, he's going mass woads, and I'm not going to be able to make enough woads to push that back. I really am forced to rely on my champions. I'm trying to go onagers, but I don't really have enough to protect them as the siege workshop they're in gets taken down. I'm going to fight underneath this castle to just try and get a bit of an advantage from that. I've got garrison once. Now he's coming in the front of my base, and he has a pretty good military advantage now, and I'm trying to get up more barracks just to get my numbers up. I have another barracks coming up there. This castle out here now, it's pretty unprotected now. And he has 3 siege workshops that are going to be able to pump siege rams, and I'm not going to be able to defend that. He has the army, he can just go over there and stop and protect those rams. Send some units over there. Now he's going to keep pushing through. He has these rams to take out my barracks, but I do have the production. I can at least hold him off for now. And if you look at the vill count, I have a lot more villages than he does. So I will be able, if I can hold him off, I should get an advantage if this game can go longer in the resources, especially since I have these 5 relics. Those are going to help me a lot. Now I'm trying to defend this castle, but he just has too many woads to overwhelm me. I try to garrison them inside to kind of mask them a bit, but with all those woad raiders, 2 trebuchets, and a ram, that castle's just going to melt. I have these trebuchets here, but without the woads to protect them, they're not going to be able to do much. And he's going to put up another castle, so now he's going to be able to produce woad raiders from 4 castles, whereas I'm down to 2, since I had made one to protect this area over here. I'm going to try to get some more wood raiding over here, but he's going to take that gold. Since I didn't really mine it, he's going to have a lot of gold left over that really I should have instead of him. Now, a lot of my villagers had gone idle since I was concentrating on my army so much, so it looks like now I'm going to try and concentrate on reseeding my farms. Now, I'm able to repel him and keep him out of my base for now, and I'm able to trying to mass up some woads on this side now that I've gotten up a 3rd castle. I'll be able to reduce them with 3 castles and keep the champs coming out of my barracks here. I am really going to need some barracks though. I engage him over here, and he's going to let me take out the trebuchets, but I just didn't have enough woads for that to be a good fight for me. I am going to be able to push him back with my champions, but still, I don't quite have the numbers to take that fight. So right now, I need to engage in order to keep his siege out, but I'm going to keep losing these fights until I can build up the mass I need. I'm going to re-wall there, and he's going to come in with some more trebuchets and start to take out my castle. He's going to run underneath and try to get at my repairing villagers, because I can't really fight until I have these massed up champions. I'd like to be able to take out those trebuchets, and I'm going to try to do that with the woad raiders, but I'm going to end up losing them. But at least I do save the castle. No, the woad raiders are able to take it out. I didn't have what I needed to protect it there. But I still do have a castle. I'm researching hoardings to make the castles a bit beefier, and I put up some barracks on the right over here to try and just get out some more champions on this side of the map, where the remaining gold and stone are in the map. And I see that since he's taking resources here, I'm going to want to be able to push in, but still all these resources have been cleaned up by this point. And it's really this gold that I should have taken that's going to let me keep making units for now. So I'm pushing in with these champions. We see he's in the KD, he's been much more effective at taking these fights. Getting up a 5th castle now. He's going to be able to make woads from 5 castles at this point. It looks like maybe I'd taken out one of the castles, but there's 4 castles at this point. Oh yeah, I must have sent some trebs. I think he had a castle there. Maybe he didn't, I forget. But now he has 4 castles making woads, and I need to make a lot more barracks to defend. I'm able to repel this force with some champions right now, and those champions are really the only thing that's keeping me in the game. I had lost those initial castles, these R's, been able to keep the wood production higher than I was, but these champions are going to help me defend over here. And now I'm going to try pushing in over here, cleaning up some of his houses, and pushing in with some siege rams over here, trying to take... I know that if he goes in here directly, he's gonna win, so I need to force him to send some units over here to defend his base. Gonna get in with my siege rams. I'm gonna try to take out these castles. Since I know he's teched into the World Raiders, and I've teched into champions, if I can take out the castle, I know that I'm gonna have a production advantage. So these rams, I need to move them forward, but at the same time, he's pushing into my base. That's gonna force him to retreat. He does destroy my monastery, though, so that's my main source of gold from those relics now gone. I do have a few more gold left over from my main gold and some stone over here that will be nice. I was thinking of going scorpions at some point, but I never had the resources for it. Now, I do manage to clean up that castle, make he takes out my army, but still that's now only 3 castles instead of 4 castles that are going to be able to produce World Raiders. At this point, that Halberdier upgrade from before actually starts to pay off, as I'm running out of gold and I just need to get out some wheat to clean up these World Raiders, and I'm able to get out the Halbs I'm not able to beat them, but I'm able to hold them off just enough. He's going to come in and try to destroy my barracks, but I'm just building more and more barracks, trying to hold him off. As he's pushing in on this side as well, I'm going to garrison in that castle. And here I do have the production I'm able to fight off. If he only comes here with a small force, I'm going to be able to fight it off because I have the production advantage. Getting out some helps here as well, just trying to hold him off. Now he's pushing in here again. He's got the rams. I have to fight them with my villagers. Those rams gonna go down, but he's more World Raiders coming in. I need to pick up those relics again. Those trebuchets coming in. I'm gonna try to fight them with my villagers as well, just desperately trying to fight him with whatever I can. I do finally manage to take the military advantage though, since now I've taken out some of his castles. These 2 trebuchets, but my castles are back far enough that I can get World Raiders out if I can get them queued up. I'm running out of gold at this point. That's why those Halberdier are coming in useful, so I can make the wood and food eco I have that's relatively safe back here at the back of my base. Keep pumping them out. I'm able just to hold him off here. He has to split his forces. He's trying to keep that Treb safe. He does. But he built a monastery here to try and take these relics, but I made him another monastery, and I'm going to just come and take them back. Wanted to mine that gold, but I'm able to push him off of it. Now, he has just these 3 castles, and he's running out of gold at this point. He's down to 74 gold, and he has 1 little pile of gold over here. This gold over here has run out, and the only gold left on the map is from my main gold, and this little pile over here, and from these relics. And since I'm going to get the relics back, that's really going to help me just stay ahead of him in army count. Because right now I do have the higher military, but it's Halberdiers. Halberdiers are just going to die to the World Raiders, but I need to make them, and the only thing I have the technologies for at this point, and I need the barracks for champions so I can pump out the Halbs when I don't have the gold. But now I've gotten the relics back, and I should get at least some gold now to keep coming out with woads, keep coming out with more champs. I'm going to be able to sell resources since I had guilds earlier. But now he's coming in for another push. He finally has a bit of gold. He was able to make some siege rams. And let's see, do I see that? I don't see that yet, but that's going to be pretty much the end of his gold units. He's on about 125 gold at this point. No more gold income. Getting the gate up the wall this side after I had brought the relics in. I'm going to try to put up a siege workshop, but that's going to fail. I finally have a slight military advantage. I have the woads, I have the champions. I'm going to try to take this fight. I need to move the rest of my army in here. I have a couple siege rams in here. He does have the advantage in numbers right there, but I'm going to be able to just produce more units and get them down there. I make some rams to take out his rams. I'm going to make sure that the monastery stays up. I need that gold. These rams coming in. I can take out 1, 2, 3. I'm able to take out the rest of his siege rams, and that's a lot of gold that he doesn't have. Now I'm trying to mass up a bit more before I engage. He still has these 2 castles on the front and this castle here. I know I need to take them out, so I send 2 trebuchets over here, trying to sneak them in over and take out the castles. And it looks like he doesn't notice it. 2 trebuchets are going to knock down a castle pretty quickly. He needs to send some villagers to repair. He doesn't have that much stone anyway, and it's going to go down. He can't get the woads there because he's engaging here. He's trying to take it out with the trebuchet, but that's not going to do it. Finally, he's able to send over woads, but it's too late. The castle's already down. Now he's down to just 2 castles where he can produce woad raiders, and he's running out of gold. He does have the score advantage from the huge KD advantage he has, but my eco is going to help just push me through the rest of this game now. Still have an advantage of about 20 villagers. A few more units coming in on his side. So I'm going to manage to clean them up, putting the champions inside the rams to give them a bit of boost and taking out that castle. These are his last 2 castles, his last production of woads, and he just doesn't have the numbers. Down about 3 military to my 66. That castle's going to go down, and there's the GG. Well played by him. I made a bad choice at the beginning of the game, going pikemen and halbs when he was going woads, especially since I saw the castle go up. I should have known he was going woads and that pikemen and halbs were going to be pretty useless at the start. It would have been better for me, instead of getting that upgrade, concentrate a bit more on taking the stone and getting up the castles I needed for the elite woad raiders. Once I lost that first fight, I was forced on spending resources going into champions so I could keep up the production with him, and I did get the advantage, but it was a very, very bad fight that I took trying to push into his base at this location that really set me back, and pretty much the rest of the game was me spent trying to recover from that and trying just desperately to get the military numbers I needed to take a fight. And eventually I had the stronger eco with those 5 relics. I was able to hold on. That halberdier upgrade actually paying off for a bit, as I was able to get out those halbs just to fight off the woad raiders until he was able to run out of gold and had nothing left, as I slowly picked off these castles until he had no woads left. Alright, let's go take a look at the achievements. No, I want to look at the achievements. There we are. So, military definitely had the advantage there, taking a few good fights at the beginning of the game and then just consistently having the numbers he needed to take better fights, especially with the better mobility of the woads over the champions. Economically, though, I had a much stronger economy. I was able to click up faster than he, and look at that, almost 7,000 relic gold. That was huge in helping me keep my army going. So GG, that was game 1 of a best of 3, and I'll see you all in the next game.